So the other, as far as what the Tigers need to address, of course, there's rumors now that Isaac Paredes is on the trade block, which yeah, strange things have happened. I know Tiger fans may want that, may not. I don't know. I'm gonna ask. I'll ask everybody who's on YouTube this evening. Would you like to see Isaac Paredes back in a Tigers uniform? And actually, I should start a poll for that. But yeah,
I'll go first if you don't mind. I
yeah,
mean,
go for it.
I love Paredes. I was pretty skeptical of the trade when it happened. I thought Paredes was always a guy where if you actually gave him some playing time, you didn't play him 3 times a week. If you gave him actual at bats, he would be able to come around and prove himself. And he's kept that high OBP while hitting homers. And if you look at his baseball savant, it may not be the prettiest, but he he has the same approach that Torkelson started taking halfway through the year, where anything inside, he's pulling it and it's going 400 feet. And then he's also got good enough plate discipline where if you don't throw him something he wants to pull 400 feet, he'll go ahead and take his walk. So, and then you can pencil him in third base, second base, first base. He played all over for the Rays. So, but then again, you're trading with the Rays. So what do the Rays know that everyone else doesn't?
Yeah, and in certain cases, the Tigers. There's some people that could be still involved with the Tigers that know something about Paredes too. There's a couple stories that I heard around there too. And yeah, and Tyler brings up a good point in our YouTube chat here is that Paredes has also benefited from that very short porch at the Trop in left field. Definitely.
I did look at his X home runs, and if he played every game at Comerica Park, he'd have 30 home runs last year, one less than what he actually had. So I don't even know if it's short porching it in left field. I think when he gets a hold of it, they're no doubters.
Especially, I remember when he was in the Tigers uniform in guaranteed rate field. Those couple that he did hit the left. I mean, they were absolute bombs. They were just not wasted pitches. And then there's Matt Chapman. Now there is the thing with Matt Chapman is there's kind of I think that there's some fans out there that want Matt Chapman because he fills the void and he's 30 years old and would be a good 5-6 more player on a team and it would be an automatic upgrade. However, how much money does Matt Chapman want? How much he's going to command? Those factors play into it. And you also have, with as far as Matt Chapman goes, you have a couple of situations where he's a right-handed bat, which is perfect because the Tigers do need some more right-handed power. They don't have any some more thump in the right side. But then there's the issue of Colt Keith and Justin Henry Malloy and also with Chase Young. And look, honestly, I'll just say this: Colt Keith is not going to play unless they totally complete change course. If you look at the last month of the season in Toledo, Keith primarily played second. For whatever reason, Malloy started playing the outfield again when he was told he was going to play third. That being said, you're putting Young in the Arizona Fall League to see what he has at third. And he wanted the best defensive player at second base in the Midwest League. So it is a conundrum of sorts because the Tigers, I think, really have a couple players that don't fit that. And as far as Paredes goes, no, I'll pass on Paredes. Just that's my 2 cents on it. But Cameron, I'll ask you: Would you go ahead and make a play for Matt Chapman?
No, I think I've said it before that it has a good chance of turning into Javi Baez 2.0, where he's great defensively. He'll put up 1.5 WAR just on his defense alone. But after his hot start in April of having a 140 OPS, the rest of the year he hovered around an 85 OPS. And then just browsing the Blue Jays subreddit, a lot of people were upset when he came up in clutch situations. He'd either strike out or roll over. So I just don't like Matt Chapman long term, and he'll want a long term contract. I'm looking at a Isaac Paredes or Jeimer Candelario type where if Jace Young is ready to come up and prove himself, that I have no problem giving him that bats and put the paid player getting reps somewhere else.
Well, I mean, there's people. The reason why somebody would want to sign Matt Chapman fans is because he's a name and he's a proven commodity. There's a lot of things we could say about that, but I I would again, I would pass on that too. Maybe I would love a Candelario reunion, but I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately, based off with the Tigers, the way that the whole situation ended at the end of his career here in Detroit. So, or his time here rather. So, I don't know. Like it would that would be nice, but again, I think also it could come via trade. I think I've been saying this for a while, and I'm gonna continue to say this. I think there's going to be some sort of prospect trade with the Tigers. I don't know what. I mean, they can go multiple directions. You've seen the Cardinals have signed Kyle Gibson. They've been rumored to get more pitching. So, do you trade your trade capital, the Cardinals, for some offensive firepower? Do you make that Gorman trade? There's a lot of again, but we have no earthly clue what Harris is going to do. None. He could. I will say this: there's three things we can recognize, and tell me if I'm right or wrong about this. One, he likes players that play multiple positions. That's just a fact. Two, the control the strike zone philosophy sticks with it with an iron fist. So players that fit that mold. If they don't, he's not interested. And three, I really think he has no, I don't want to say loyalty, but he doesn't really. I think he's willing to trade anybody he can, whomever it may be, to get. I mean, we saw this. We saw this earlier with Blake Holcomb. He had a really good year. Tigers traded him, no doubt. But I think the Tigers in the past would have not done the same thing. The Tigers loved hanging on the prospects for way too long. So I think that those three things to me seem like the most clearest. Alex Berman would be nice, but I just don't see Houston.
Yeah, I think Houston would want a lot for him, even with
Yeah.
just 1 year left. Because they're still in a competitive window. They want to win. I don't know, that Mark Canha trade, it happened middle of the day on like a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And no beat reporter had it or anything. Just the Tigers official account came out and, hey, we got Mark Canha. And I'd be on the lookout for something like that again in the next 3 days, like just some random trade that we didn't expect. Hopefully for a third baseman.